right, this is an interesting bit of news here. As you know, the Writers Guild of America is striking, and good for them. Bravo! I fully support and am in solidarity with my fellow writers. We have our differences. There's lots to critique. There's plenty of bad writing out there, but one thing that I do believe is that good wages, fair treatment, all that stuff is very important if we're gonna expect to have quality writing. And really, this is an important thing for creative groups, for worker groups, for any group that needs to have some power against capital and against the studio bosses or the manufacturing CEOs, whatever it is. I support organized labor. I think that if we want even worse writing than we have now, then we should. We're in a race to the bottom if we just let the studios get away with their algorithm-based approaches to everything, which of course doesn't mean that everything's great. Obviously, because we're talking about Rings of Power, one of the worst written shows ever. I am pretty sure, and this writer's strike actually has me thinking this even more. I am pretty sure that AI was used, at least in part, to create the Rings of Power. I think that Amazon, this is just conjecture, right? I'm just guessing here. But what we've seen with some recent streaming movies is that studios are really pushing this idea that that with a streaming movie, unlike a theatrical release, or with streaming shows, unlike shows that are released on TV, you really need to fit this data-driven model in order to keep people from turning off the TV, switching to a different show. There's so many options now, so they're leaning really heavily into algorithm-based stuff. And we know that the writers in the writer's strike are worried about one thing in particular, which is not that AI will take over all the jobs, but that AI will be used to write drafts. That AI will be used to write drafts of scripts, and then writers will be paid to fix it. And they'll be paid less, because you're paid less to go in and mop up a messy script than you are to write one from scratch. So here's the worry, and one of the big things that the writer's strike is about, other than money and benefits and all that stuff, is protecting writers from just becoming editors for AI. And I think that's an important and worthy fear, because AI sucks at writing. I mean, it's competent, but it's heartless. And I guess that's what I would call the Rings of Power, competent but heartless. The more you listen to the actual things that people say, the more you look at the plot and how many plot holes and weird geographical issues and fast travel and all this are present right from the beginning, despite having a fleshed out world in Middle Earth, a world with real places and real maps and whatnot to go by. The more you look at that, the more you think, yeah, actually, this could have been kind of just put together with some AI and some software, some machines could have sort of cobbled it together. And then the writers went in and they were like, all right, we'll fix this, we'll change that, we'll do this. I mean, how else do you get a line like, I'm good? You just plug enough Tolkien into an AI, and then this is what they churn out. The news, of course, the other news with the strike is that the season 2 of The Rings of Power is currently filming. I think they have 19 more days of filming left as of yesterday or so, or today. And because of the strike, the showrunners, J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay, as well as any other writers or writing producers on the show, are not allowed to be on set. They're not allowed to be at the production, at the filming of this. Many other shows and movies and whatnot have actually shut down because of this, because these are important people. They are the people that are ostensibly, maybe they're working for the AI, but they're ostensibly the people guiding this ship halfway to Numenor or to the west before Galadriel jumps off of it and swims to Numenor. But these are important people. If you're the people making the show and you can't be on the show, generally speaking, you've got to shut that down. But they are not. Amazon is pushing straight ahead with the filming of the Rings of Power, and they're just not going to have any of the people responsible for the story, for writing the story for the show there. There will be directors, non-writing directors. There will be non-writing producers. But nobody involved with the actual writing of the show will be there to help film it, which I find hilarious for two reasons. One, because it's sort of audacious, right, to say, well, we don't need these guys to finish our show, but also because how bad could it be? I mean, honestly, it was so poorly written that maybe having the writers not there is a good thing. Maybe this will go better because the people remaining will be like, well, they're not here. Maybe we can just change this. We'll just change this up here. We'll fix that line. I mean, probably not. Probably, they've said that they've left instructions and they've tried to make the transition as seamless as possible. Because it was, this was not a big surprise. I mean, the WGA has been itching for a strike for a while now, and, various production companies have made plans for this to occur. But it is kind of funny. They're going ahead with it while other shows are shutting down. I guess it's a big rush. You've got that much money tied up in something. You got to get it out there. What might throw another wrench into everyone's plans is if the actors go on strike. That's been up in the air that could happen. If actors go on strike and writers are on strike, you're left with problems. And it's interesting also to think about this in terms of AI. I play around a lot with AI just for fun. I look at Midjourney and these other tools as kind of a game. But I totally understand how, for people who are writing or creating art or doing all this stuff, that they could be perceived as a threat. I think on the one hand, it can be a tool, a very valuable tool. And on the other hand, it's a valid threat. It's something to be worried about. I don't think, I think if these companies are like, well, we can get this AI to just do our algorithm, and eventually we can just have like all our scripts and story ideas, AI will come up with it, and we'll just pay, we won't even pay them. We'll just use interns to fix some inconsistencies in the script, and then we'll just churn this shit out. And pretty soon we'll just use AI to animate it, and AI to voice it, and AI to do. If we can get far enough into the future, you could see AI doing fully like AI plus deepfakes plus AI voices making all the movies. You don't need actors anymore. You don't need writers anymore. You just have like corporate assholes playing, dicking around on their phones, coming up with all these stories. I mean, that's a grim picture for the future, right? I do think that's probably unlikely, but I think part of it is that creatives, writers, actors, musicians, artists do have to push back. They have to push back while also accepting that some things will change. Some things always change, right? Every era has its new, batch of filmmakers, for instance. There was a time when everyone was lamenting the rise of people like Steven Spielberg. And Spielberg made a lot of great movies that we love now. And I think we'll see in this more streaming-based era of algorithms and all that creative and talented people will use those algorithms as a tool to make great material, not just to make corporate bullshit and boring, predictable garbage. I do think that you'll see both. I'm an optimist, though. Fundamentally, I guess I'm not an enthusiastic optimist. I'm not one of those tech bros who sees just, everything with technology is good. No, there's a downside, for every advance in medicine usually comes with an advance in our ability to kill people in scale, right? Same with any kind of technology. We'll make advances that might make things look and sound better, but might also put some people out of work, and then that's never great, But of course, none of us are itching to get back into the horse-drawn buggies instead of our cars, and so the carriage drivers are just kind of out of business, and that's kind of the part of the world and of the economic evolution, technological evolution of our society. Anyways, I am on a rant. I am on a ramble. I am getting sidetracked. This is what I do. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think of all of this, the AI, the writer strike, Rings of Power, down in the comments. Thank you. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Peace.